In this third video I would like to show the macro functions of SpiderControl. On top we have the simple HMI objects like text, rectangle, polygon, buttons, etc. And if you need more, we have here this insert macro function, which will open this gallery showing different macro function libraries. So we have several themes we can choose from. I would like to show a couple of them. The first thing is password and login management. There is a separate video to this topic. If you would like to have a look at the concept, please refer to this link. We have the possibility to use this burger menu instead of the navigation, which is automatically generated. So you have this sliding burger. We have some general purpose objects like an animated image. This is something like this animated GIF style, where it will show a series of a couple of images. We have a display of a time stamp in a readable form. We have editable multi-line objects, language switch, and here an edit field which can change from metric to imperial display. We have a couple of sliders, so I will now add two of these sliders to my project. So I choose a vertical slider, press OK. So this will open the own dialog of the macro function. I will now define a PLC variable to it, and we'll copy this slider to a new page. We'll go to page 3 and start inserting a couple of macro functions. We'll now get a second slider. In this case we take the thin slider, press OK, and we'll also link it with a PLC variable called var2, and put the second slider type on the page. We will have a look at the bar graphs. We will take this blue horizontal bar graph in our test project, and also take var1. The minimum shall also be 0 to 100 to the max. Put it on top. More objects. We'll look at the gauges. So there is a couple of different types. We have the simple gauge, which is just without faceplate. We have types with faceplates, round or half round. We have this sophisticated gauge, which has more complex functionality, and it's also possible to change the faceplate dynamically. We'll now take this modern type, which is often seen today, and also assign it a variable, and we will leave it color, put it over here, make it a bit smaller. Then there is an animated robot. We can also add this to our project and assign it with our two test variables, var1 and var2. Make it a bit smaller. Okay. Then more examples. We have jumps. These are jumps to other views of the project which are linked to a condition. So the PLC in this case can control a jump to a desired image. We can also activate jumps on timeout, so if the user has not interacted for a while it will jump, and more conditional jumps. We have these event scripts, event painters. These are objects which are not visible, which act in the background and which can do some copy source to destination actions, which are also linked to a condition, which can be linked to the gain focus event, so when a view opens, to lost focus, to repaint events, and several possibilities which are described in detail. We have the responsive design options, so we can add a macro to our HMI which can change automatically from a horizontal to a vertical aspect, and we can also define a landing page which automatically selects whether the project continues with vertical or horizontal aspect. We have alarm lists for PLC which do not have an alarm server, so this alarm control will just be linked to registers, to bit fields, and if a bit will be set, it will show the respective alarm text in a list. So if no bits are active, the list is empty. If bits become active, the list will fill, and you can scroll through and you can translate the different alarm messages to all the languages that you want to use in your project. We have online trends. So this online trends also can be operated on PLCs which have no logger functionalities at all. So the control will just need a link to a variable and will then display it as a trend. So I will also enter my var1 variable, min-max color, and we already have a simple trend control. So more possibilities. There is also an oscilloscope control. This oscilloscope relates to an array of variables on the PLC, so it will display these array values on the y-axis, and this allows me for displaying some historic which is recorded on the PLC in such a trending kind of style. So this was a quick tour on standard macro functionality of SpiderControl. We'll have a look at the runtime, how this will work. We'll play around with the sliders so that we can see how all the things which have been related to these two variables are dynamically operated. We can scroll and zoom in and zoom out, and we can even save the recording to a CSV file.